Selby's time, breaking down the stories every view will unwind. From left to right we'll see the light. It's balance we're chasing, no fighters fight. Curtis Selby talking straight. Let's hear both sides, let's communicate. Politics and reason, let's find the truth. Curtis Selby's here to bridge it for you. Debates, insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis Selby keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay while it's diving deep with Curtis Selby. The combos you need. The combos you need. Dave's out with the cheerful whistle and guitar riff. Debates, insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis Selby keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, let's dive in deep with Curtis Selby. The convo's unique. Curtis Selby talking it straight. Let's hear both sides, let's communicate. Politics and reason, let's find the truth. Curtis Selby's here to bridge it for you. Debates, insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis Selby keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, let's dive in deep with Curtis Selby. The combos you need. The combos you need. The combos you need.
Greetings, everyone. It is I, Curtis Selby, your retired midnight blogger, while blogs in this case at 4:32 p.m. Sorry I set this one up so last minute. I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time. Today I actually thought I would sneak the time and at least begin the series. I have several people have wanted me to do this, one of them being Gorilla's Random Thoughts. So I'm going to start it today. It's going to be very basic, very quick, because all it's going to be is just a beginning. Just going to introduce the idea, maybe read the first little bit of the Constitution. The idea is we're going to learn what the heck is in it. We're going to discuss in the community what we think of it. Is it indeed this great sacred thing that's worthy of human lives to defend? Or is it an antiquated idea whose time is long since gone? Going to try to, I have my own bias, I have my own thoughts about it. I'll try my best to be open-minded to everyone. We got one person in the chat because he's an amazing human being, Enigma Severus. Watch up to. I've been wanting to do a series for a long time about the United States Constitution. Don't know how long it will be. I really don't have a lot of time today. I doubt if this stream will be over an hour, even though, let's face it, it's the Constitution. You can talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And there it is. Going to do a little bit of housekeeping before I dive in. Obviously, please like, subscribe if you think I've earned your subscription. If you do like the material, think about becoming a member. Especially now. But anyway. And think about maybe supporting us on Patreon. I'm still trying to figure out how to get the PayPal link linked on here. And Enigma, what are you up to? I know you're probably about to start back in school again. Enigma Severus, you should definitely discuss the Articles of Confederation. Explain how even 13 colonies were never able to come to an agreement, which brought us to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Definitely a good idea. Why did we even have to have a Constitution? Why didn't we just continue with those Articles of Confederation? What are the Articles of Confederation? Some people may not know what they are. I doubt if many people in my community, because I'm a snob, don't know about it. I decided to stop the music. I want to hear my own thoughts. So you know what? We shall in fact begin with that. Let's start with the Articles of Confederation. Another thing in the housekeeping, I have a goal up there. Any 5 super chats. They can be as simple as 99 cents, maybe lower. I don't know. But any 5 super chats, and I will get Sean Connery out here to do a song of y'all's choosing. So Enigma, please throw out maybe 3 or 4 songs, and we'll see if the community is even interested, and if so, which ones they're interested in hearing. I know it's really silly probably to have a big, deep, in-depth discussion about our government, and we're going to have Sean Connery come in and sing. Enigma says, we just got done with our preparation week. I'm hoping to make more videos. I want to finish a work I started on C.S. Lewis with his small piece behind the scenes about quantum mechanics. That was a good one. I was glad that you shared it. I had read it before, but I'd completely forgotten about it because my mind sucks. But I'm glad that you shared it again and reminded me that, yes, he did have some great thoughts that essentially tied in with quantum mechanics and the way the world actually works. All right. We have the Articles of Confederation. It's on bestproductreviews.com. I'm guessing that somebody thought it was a product. I guess you could think of it as a product. I don't know. Let us share this screen. And you know what? While we're on it, let's also do a very quick history. Yes, I know. I'm so professional about how I'm doing this. We'll start with history.com. Share the screen and keep out the devil. Share the stream and keep the devil in the night. Here we go. So, before we had a constitution, we had something called the Articles of Confederation. While the Declaration of Independence was very important, it wasn't an actual body of laws. It was a set of principles, and it was a set of reasons why we felt like we needed to declare ourselves independent of Britain. By the logic of the time, it was actually kind of revolution was a bad word back then. People were used to, and frankly, it's borne up over most of history. Most revolutions are not good things. Usually they just lead to bloodshed. All you get is one tyrant replacing another tyrant. I really do believe that our revolution was intensely unique in world history. The only two that I can think of that in my mind compared were the bloodless revolution of Britain and the Roman revolution against the Tarquins. Other than that, revolutions have mostly just been a lot of people dying for no good purpose. If y'all think we should get into the Declaration of Independence, I'll be happy to do that. But today, I'll just do a very quick run on the history of the Articles of Confederation, and I'll either read it this time around or begin reading it in the next episode because I don't want to spend a lot of time today. I just want to basically introduce this thing. Enigma Severus needs to go back to my History of Ideas 4 class from my bachelor's program. They had some really good works. We have a Meow Meow. Moira Kitty is here. Getting down to the foundation of our society. Moira, let's see what the darn things actually say. You probably know what it says. In fact, I think most of the people in my community do. But just in case, let's see what we're actually supposed to be doing instead of, Trump makes this and I'm not meaning to take a side or not take a side. Trump makes an executive order, Biden makes an executive order, Obama made an executive order. What was this supposed to actually be like? And was it a good thing? Was it a bad thing? I want to go into some depth over the next few months. I don't know how long this thing's going to last, but we'll just see. We'll start the journey today and see where it goes. And I think Moira likes the idea because she's all about freedom. So there it is. PvP is here saying hello. John Poneroa is here saying howdy. Enigma Severus is here saying we also have a Senate and Congress because of the articles, because Rhode Island kept vetoing imports. Yes, there's a lot more to it. And let me know how I sound. I think I've got my microphone maybe a little too close to my mouth. All right, let's start with the history of the Articles of Confederation. And if we have the time, we will go into the actual articles themselves. So the Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union was the first written constitution of the United States. Written in 1777 and stemming from wartime urgency, its progress was slowed by fears of central authority and extensive land claims by states. It was not ratified until March the 1st of 1781. So if this is all true, that means that we were running around for 4 years without an actual constitution. If you look at the history, it kind of seemed like we just had this random-ish, haphazard Congress. We had Washington leading the army, and we weren't really sure where we were going, what we were doing. There were even people who thought we should have a monarchy. They tried to set Washington up as the monarch, and he told them to get stuffed. Anyway, under these articles, the states remained sovereign and independent, with Congress serving as the last resort on appeal of disputes. Significantly, the Articles of Confederation named the new nation the United States of America. Congress was given the authority to make treaties and alliances, maintain armed forces, and coin money. Evidently, in order to know about the Articles of Confederation, you need to know about electrical plug-in units. I'm so glad for our modern society. Anyway, Congress was given the authority. The central government lacked the ability to levy taxes, to regulate commerce, issues that led to the Constitutional Convention in 1787 for the creation of new federal laws under the United States Constitution. Here we have women with "We the People" tattooed on their feet. I think that's very vital to the discussion, especially after advertising for a plumbing company that I know nothing about. See, real quick, "We the People" on some woman's foot. All right. From the beginning of the American Revolution, Congress felt the need for a stronger union and a government powerful enough to defeat Great Britain. Now, think about those words. That would be like some, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it would be kind of like Puerto Rico deciding, you know what, we're going to revolt against the United States, and we're we're going to form a government that's strong enough to make this island defeat them. I mean, again, it is a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's a similar idea. A bunch of disparate colonies, a bunch of people that were basically considered redneck hicks against the greatest military power that the world had seen, I would say, since the time of Rome. It had to sound ridiculous and crazy, and yet that's what they set out to do. Moira Kitty, you sound like you might have a sore throat. I don't have a sore throat. There's something about this microphone that makes me sound like I have a sore throat. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I turned up the volume. Maybe that will help. Oh, I'm sharing the wrong page. Ha ha! Professional. Curtis in the Forbidden Zone. All right. Articles. Here we go. Back to where I really wanted to be. No, that's not where I wanted to be. My mind doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work very well at all. All right. There we go. And you all were probably wondering, what was he talking about with a woman with the we the people on her feet here? Now that I've actually got it shared, see right there, some woman, random woman with we the people tattooed on her feet. Why? I don't know. From the beginning of the American Revolution, Congress felt the need for a stronger union and a government powerful enough to defeat Great Britain. During the early years of the war, this desire became a belief that the new nation must have a constitutional order appropriate to its republican character, a fear of central authority. And I will admit, I'm not very keen on big, large central authorities, never have been. It inhibited the creation of such a government, and widely shared political theory held that a republic could not adequately serve a large nation such as the United States. And now we're many times larger, both in population and land area and economy. The legislators of a large republic would be unable to remain in touch with the people they represented, and the republic would inevitably degenerate into a tyranny. To many Americans, their union seemed to be simply a league of confederated states, their Congress a diplomatic assemblage representing 13 independent polities. The impetus for an effective central government lay in wartime urgency, the need for foreign recognition and aid, and the growth of national feeling. Let's see what all is going on in the chat. Chat is popping. Connie Cleary, I don't remember if I said hello to you. Well, hail and well met, Connie Cleary. I hope you are doing well. Dope, indeed. Enigma Severus, quite impressive for a farmer with a pitchfork from the movie, I assume, The Patriot. Right on, right on. PvP is sharing something from the National Telegraph. Let me take a quick look at that. I might look at that at the end, or I might just watch it after. I think. Oh yeah, I will watch that after the stream. I might try to do something about that later if I get a chance. But I do know that there's some weird crap going on in Canada, and it's a really scary time that we live in. But then all times are scary. So, who wrote the Articles of Confederation? Well, altogether, there were 6 drafts of the Articles prepared before Congress, and they settled on a final version in, as I said, 1777, which is evidently hard for me to say. Benjamin Franklin, Uncle Ben, wrote the first and presented it to Congress in July of 1775, but it was never formally considered. Later in the year, Silas Deane, a delegate from Connecticut, offered one of his own, which was followed still later by a draft from the Connecticut delegation, probably a revision of Deane's, not to be confused with James Deane. None of the drafts contributed significantly to the fourth version written by John Dickinson of Pennsylvania, the text that, after much revision, provided the basis for the articles approved by Congress. Dickinson, not to be confused with Emily Dickinson, prepared his draft in June of 1776. So even before the Declaration of Independence, we had a draft of it. It was revised by a committee of Congress, discussed in late July and August. The result, the third version of Dickinson's original, was printed to enable Congress to consider it further. In November of 1777, the final articles, much altered by this long deliberative process, were approved for submission to the states. So Congress had approved it, but just like the Constitution itself, we felt like the states should approve of the kind of government they were working under. Nowadays, we just, executive order here, executive order there, la, 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 yay. Let me see. So much is going on in Canada. And I may have to do a stream sometime soon. Oh, Sean Foyt. Sorry, I'm looking at the stuff that PvP is sharing in the stream. PvP says there's his channel. He's a Christian singer that travels to do prayer services and entertain. Well, God bless him, and thank you for sharing that. That's definitely a talk we probably need to have sometime soon too. What's going on with the state of Christianity? There's a lot of challenging things going on. So the actual ratification of the articles by 1779, I just love how the internet has to embarrass me. Anyway, by 1779, all the states had approved the Articles of Confederation except Maryland, but the prospects for acceptance looked bleak because claims to Western lands by other states set Maryland in an inflexible opposition. Virginia, the Carolinas, Georgia, Connecticut, and Massachusetts claimed by their charters to extend to the South Sea or the Mississippi River. The charters of Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and Rhode Island confined those states to a few hundred miles of the Atlantic. Land speculators in Maryland and these other landless states insisted that the West belonged to the United States. They urged Congress to honor their claims to Western lands. Maryland also supported the demands because nearby Virginia would clearly dominate its neighbor should its claims be accepted. Eventually, Thomas Jefferson, depending on who you are, you either think he's a great hero or a terrible villain, but honestly, most of these people were just like you and me, flawed men doing their best. Eventually, Thomas Jefferson persuaded his state to yield its claims to the West, provided that the speculators' demands were rejected and the West was divided into new states, which would be admitted into the Union on the basis of equality with the old. Virginia's actions persuaded Maryland to ratify the Articles, which went into effect on March the 1st of 1781. So, like I say, for about 4 years, we're kind of running around in a weird chaos. Not really sure how this is supposed to work. We would send delegates and they would make decisions, and maybe they'd be enforced and maybe they wouldn't. And then General George Washington was running around just trying to win a war. Often his men were not getting paid or weren't clothed or weren't fed. It was really a difficult situation. PvP. Let's see what he's saying here. The left tried to ban his concerts as he likes Trump. So he is bad, as he is not inclusive enough for the left. Interesting, many concerts got canceled by left politicians. Apparently, the left only values inclusiveness when you agree with their views. I think the Ferengi had some things to say about that in Star Trek. But yes, it does seem that all of us have that flaw, honestly. I want to include everybody, but then when you actually challenge my point of view, now I'm upset. So, uh, there were, sadly, a lot of weaknesses in the Articles of Confederation. Uh, the biggest weakness, according to history.com, which is what I'm relying on at the moment, as well as some of my own vague knowledge, the weakness was that Congress was not strong enough to enforce the laws or raise taxes, making it difficult for the new nation to repay their debts from the Revolutionary War. And let's face it, you got to pay for that war. Just saying. I cannot remember exactly when it was, but it seems to me that we actually finished paying for that war somewhere in the beginning of my lifetime. So, yeah, the wars are expensive and they take a long time to pay for. There was, I'm going to add a word here, there was virtually no executive or judiciary. Two of the three branches of government we have today to act as a system of checks and balances. Additionally, there were several issues between states that were not settled with ratification. A disagreement over the appointment of taxes forecast the division over slavery in the Constitutional Convention. Dickinson's draft required the states to provide money to Congress in proportion to the number of their inhabitants, black and white, except Indians, who were not at that time considered citizens and were not considered they didn't have to pay taxes. They were citizens of their own tribes. With large numbers of slaves, the southern states opposed this requirement, arguing that taxes should be based on the number of white inhabitants. We want to be inclusive until you disagree with me. I'm kind of oversimplifying here, but it does relate to some of the things PvP is sharing in a way. This failed to pass, but eventually the Southerners had their way as Congress decided that each state's contributions should rest on the value of its lands and improvements. In the middle of the war, Congress had little time and less desire to take action on such matters as the slave trade and fugitive slaves, both issues receiving much attention in the Constitutional Convention. I think I will at least end that there, because if I go much further, I feel like I should actually read the articles themselves. Let's see. It backfired on the left. He was unknown here before he was attacked. I'd never heard of the guy before. So yeah, now he's getting known. I subbed to his channel. I did too. I just like you sent it. I subbed to him. So he looks like a guy who sings stuff. So there it is. Let's see. I think. Let me see how long we have here. All right. We didn't reach our goal. That's okay. I think I want to keep this short for today. So PvP, basically, my point is it doesn't matter what your rights documents say if leaders don't respect them. And it also doesn't matter, I totally agree with you, but it also doesn't matter what they say if we don't defend them. If we just sit back and let them say that you have a privilege to free speech instead of a right to free speech, they've more or less half won right there. I know that this was short. I know that this was isn't really giving it the due diligence that it deserves, but I just wanted to, like I say, to start a dialogue, a discussion. I wanted to point out that America was in a nice, wonderful bind. We didn't know how we were going to govern ourselves. We were embarking on an experiment that was very hazardous and very likely to fail. So, let me know real quick what you guys think in the comments about where we were at the time, where you think we should have gone. I am going to call it a stream. I know, again, this one was short, but I will try to budget my time better next time. PvP is saying that's the problem here. Too many Canadians are still asleep. Yes, indeed. All right. So let us call it a stream. Oh, wait, before I go too far, though. Some of you have been wondering how Cassie's been feeling. She is about 100% today. She's been all perky and tail wagging and begging for treats like the good girl that she is. Love you, Cassie. Love you, Cassie. And like I say, I will try to do a better job of budgeting my streaming time. I just things got I got a lot of chores done, but I wanted to stream today, and this was the best time to do it. So I want to thank and promote everybody that's here. Thank you very much, Enigma Severus. I know he is hoping to make videos. He wants to finish a work he started on C.S. Lewis with a small piece behind the scenes. Check him out. He does some videos on tribute videos, reviews, movie reviews. He's also got a channel teaching you how to speak Spanish. So please check him out. Moira Kitty we have here, well known in the community. Please check her out. She's got she'll show how really screwed up things are, sharing things in the news that often are basically not her, but the pieces that she's revealing to us are often nothing more than propaganda pieces that are designed to deceive us. So God bless you for sharing those things with us. Please check her out, and I hope you had a good trip. I hope you're coming home safely soon. Connie Cleary, thank you very much. You also have a wonderful channel. She shares videos of birds, soothing music, and she also has Fluff Chick Productions where she shares crafts and various other interviews and things that are really speaking. PvP, thank you very much. You share out some music that you like. You also share out the things that are going on in Canada. Thank you very much for your support and for all the things you share. I'm going to take a look at these videos. I might go on sometime, I don't know when, maybe Monday, and do a talk about the things that are going on in Canada. John Ponerera, thank you very much for your support. All the links and comments that you share. God bless you. And we've got Matt Cheatwood coming in. Great, good stream, guys. I hope it was. I know it was short, but I hope it was sweet. I hope it was informative. And again, let me know in comments what y'all think about what the situation was and whether the founding fathers made a mistake with the Constitution, or they were brilliant, or if they were somewhere in between. PvP is saying Carney has done outrageous things, but that's for another day. Great stream. Thank you very much. Matchy would love to see Cassie doing well. Me too. And Be Yourself is on later. Okay. I'll give it another minute or two if you'd like to share that stream out. I think we would all love to see Larry and how he's doing. And Mikey Susie 4 is on right now doing a Fantastic Four review. All right. Again, I'll give you guys a few minutes. I might invite Sean Connery to come on just for a bit. Sean, how have you been doing? What are your thoughts on the state of the United States when it was revolting against Great Britain? Well, I'd like all of you to know that I think that Great Britain is, in fact, revolting. And all of us should have revolted from them a long time ago. I think Moira Kitty has pointed out that many nations have a July 4, a time when they got to be independent of that country. So there it is. Well, thank you very much, Sean. I hope you have done well. I hope you're doing well. I am going to call it a stream. I haven't come up with a good ending for this one. But maybe let's do some thinking. Let's do some talking. Let's do some dialogue about how we got here, where we're at, whether we were set up for a good state by the founding fathers, or were they the big poop heads that our schools seem to say that they were? Much love to all of you. I will try to do this, at least for now. I'm thinking, like, when I just get a chance. I know that's random as heck. But anyway, hope you all are doing well and have a wonderful weekend.